At West Tennessee Bank, we speak in simple terms. No big, fancy words or hard to understand language. Just good, old-fashioned values and a strong commitment to the communities we serve. West Tennessee Bank, a division of Decatur County Bank. We think you'll like us. Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
There is a quorum present, so we'll go ahead and proceed with the meeting. The first thing on here is election of the board chairman and vice chairman. So at this time, I'm going to turn that over to Dwight for election of the chairman.
Okay, we'll open the floor for nomination of chairman of the board.
Nothing about one.
I'll second.
We have a nomination, second. Any other nomination? Any other discussion? Not all in favor, say aye. Aye. No. Bob, condolences or congratulations?
All right, thank you, gentlemen. The next thing is election of vice chairman, so I'll take nominations for that at this time.
I nominate Dwight Bingham. Second.
All right, any other nominations? All right, Mr. Bingham has been nominated as vice chairman. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, congratulations on being vice chairman, right?
I'm good with vice.
All right, the first thing on here is going to be our, next thing is going to be consent agenda. I have a motion
I
on
make a
that.
motion we approve.
Second.
We have a motion, second, to approve consent agenda. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay, that is approved. Next thing is delegations. And I believe, Troy, that we do have someone here that would like to address the board.
Yes, Mr. Jason Ellison had asked to address the board regarding his son AJ.
Go ahead, sir.
You get 63 times and they get up on the class.
Well, you'll do well.
Maybe. I was hoping to do a familiar face here. I could look at it. I've known Mr. Shane one time in the radio studio. I was trying to Miss Rita's sister here. I didn't see her. Anyway, while I'm here, my son sitting there has a severe peanut allergy. I'm sure with good mild stuff, I've never tried that one. He's at the top, not the top of the list, but he's in the top of the list for Vanderbilt. They're in Nashville's allergies. Just, I know the cafeteria stuff is not ordered. I mean, doesn't get any peanut stuff in, or it's not supposed to be. And some stuff gets made in facilities where, the peanut stuff is around. But I would love to see Cheshire County as a whole be a peanut-free facility just for the kids that do have it. I'm not sure. That's Mr. Kills there last week. I don't know if you got the number of how many kids that may have the allergy. My son's in the 4th grade now, and when it was in Eastchester up here, I know there was 3 or 4 more kids in the school there at that time that had it. I don't know if anybody's ever addressed y'all with it or anybody talked to about it. I was ignorant to the fact before my son was born with the allergies. I'm a pretty good son of boy, and I eat what I want to eat. I didn't ever think about somebody being allergic to anything until we give my boy a liquid ice cream sandwich, and it was like 6 months old, I believe it's right. And it was an instant facial stroke, just that quick, like it's a Bell's palsy, the face drops down, and scared us to death. Then we started going to Vanderbilt and found out what all he is allergic to, and it's a ton of stuff. The peanut allergy is most common, I would think. I would just love to see, because I'm sure no parent wants to, but that could be a severe case come up in the school system. Or in the school room each year that we have our son here in school. I make at the meet and greet that they do first night of school or whatever, where the teachers meet the parents and parents, intermingle there. I always ask the teacher that my son has, and I make the announcement, hey, my son has a peanut allergy, could you please respect it and let's keep it away so we don't have this problem. I made that same announcement this year, and I don't know if the child's parents weren't there, I can't remember, but turkey and a few vegetables and some juice. Everything else he's allergic to. But I know I can't ask for all of that, but there is some other kids that have a peanut allergy. I hope it would never happen, but you could accidentally have a child that is mean, such as what I was when I was a kid. You could have a severe bully situation. And I would hate for not only my child, but another child that has a peanut allergy to have something terrible happen to them because of a bully with a peanut butter sandwich. I'm working vaccine.
Gosh, that'd be something we probably have to look into, wouldn't it? Because that,
Well, and again, as Jason described, he came, we talked last Friday. And in that conversation last Friday, he had mentioned some other districts that he had talked to. So I followed up and had a conversation with, it was Madison County and Henderson County. Madison County, I talked directly to the person over the coordinated school health who bears that responsibility with this event. In their policies, they have a district-wide nut-free, both peanut and tree nut, with what their cafeteria produces. They don't have a district-wide policy to refrain anybody from bringing it in. However, they do have some schools. She had mentioned the one that I recall was Pope Elementary out north. They have a policy where, as a district, because of the number of students who do have a peanut allergy or a tree nut allergy, that they do have information shared out to the families, just like what Jason described he did. Please do not bring any of these products to school. Henderson County, I talked to the director of schools, Steve Wilkinson. They have the same policy as far as from the cafeteria side, there is no peanut, tree nuts products that are sold or produced there in the campuses. And they too have situations where, and he had mentioned a couple, South Haven, was that the one? South Haven school who has that same setup where as a school, because of the number, they do request in writing to the families not to bring peanut butter products. I talked with Janice Plunk also, and we too share that same policy for the district. We don't produce
I did
anything.
think it in the cafeteria.
She shared with me, and I did not talk to each cafeteria manager, but I did talk to the high school cafeteria manager, and she confirmed this before I asked Janice. But Janice said that when products are brought into the cafeteria for distribution, they have people responsible in the cafeteria to check the boxes to make sure that the products don't include any nuts. But as Jason was alluding to, it's not only just nut products, like a payday, but it's also products like Little Debbie snack cakes.
Yes,
What Ms.
it's a
Janice,
round nut.
It's a round nut, has no nuts necessarily in it. But the production of those Little Debbie snack cakes also is where it's being manufactured around.
Done with labels on a lot of it.
So, but that's what we're doing is what similar counties are doing around us.
I'd say something, Mr. Cook.
Yes, sir.
Also, my wife had brought it up to me because she does some substituting. The vending machines that the teachers get to use, there's peanut butter and crackers in those machines. My son's not just contact. If a teacher eats that and it's helping him with a math problem or some kind of problem, just to breathe it, it messes him up. Yes, from a shame it is, and like I said, I love peanut butter and I was ignorant to the fact, but once I learned about it, and done some checking, and there is a lot of it there. I would just say, I know it can't be done this year, I know it's too far, and I should have my tail here on the very first time I said we was gonna homeschool my child because of all of his allergies, and we did that for his kindergarten year. But then we got to come and get our daughters from the schools, and he sent the little kids up here to elementary school, and he said, I want to go there. Well, we said, no, son, you're allergies. He said, I want to go there. So we tried him out, and when we tried him out, we started off at kindergarten. We said, we're going to do this thing, we're going to do it the whole way through. And you've got some wonderful teachers in your school system that has tried to help him do, but there's always that chance of it being there. And I understand that if he was to next year say, hey, this is a peanut-free facility, if little Johnny's mama wants to be
child out. But if there was an area where they could sit, where
But
be guaranteed that there wouldn't be anybody, little Johnny would bring a peanut butter sandwich close to him, would that be?
Well, the bad thing about that, and I've got a nephew that's got the same thing, his mother's in the system, is a teacher. He don't have to eat it, he don't have to touch it. It's like he said, one of his mother's brother-in-law had eaten a little peanut butter cracker and come over to mother's house one day and just picked him up and hugged him. He didn't do nothing, and it wasn't 30 seconds till he couldn't breathe.
It can just be in the air.
I mean, it's not something that they have to actually contact.
Okay.
There's a child in my wife's daycare that they can't go to any restaurants but one, because if it's just in the air, you know. And he's in our school system now, and he just transitioned from daycare to kindergarten. And like I said, it can just be in the other room, and it's instant.
What do you do for it when he comes in contact? He got a vaccine or?
he has that EpiPen. Thank the good Lord, we've never had to use an EpiPen. I don't know that he's ever had a reaction to peanuts, because we have that nowhere in our house. We keep him completely away from it. But he has Benadryl in his bag that he brings to school as well. Or Miss Tammy the
School nurse.
the nurse has. It can get so bad, as Ms. Shanks are saying, his reaction to an allergy, that he has to have his asthma inhaler as well. But we'll give him his Benadryl, hoping that will knock it out before it gets so bad to his needing his asthma inhaler. But he has a EpiPen with him all day, every day, in the school system, as well as at home.
And the school has one too. And it's noted on our database. It's identified, as I shared with Jason. On his individual main page of our database, it reflects a little icon for alert, and it tells everybody that he carries an EpiPen. So,
Could this be something that maybe like you said, at the start of the year, that we could send out a notice, that even if we're not going to say ban or make it peanut free, but that at least to make the parents aware, we've got students, would you, consider, and then especially if we knew what classes we had it in, be sure to send those parents, we just ask that you not send this, and hopefully they would respect that.
well, we do have, and I'll say this, we do have some classes who are already doing that. There are signs that are posted outside the middle school, and I don't know if it's AJ's class. I don't know.
I don't know if there's a.
But I saw a sign just right before you and I talked on Friday that says peanut free. So there are some intentions to it. What I need to do is, as Jason asked, know which schools have it, because you don't need to have if you have nobody in that specific campus that has any type of allergies that are identified, it's not necessarily a point. What every other district that has done this, Madison County and Henderson County, which are both bigger, is they targeted those schools specifically that had these allergies and just had a school level. To answer Norris's question, what do you do if somebody brings something? Henderson County had a situation that Steve Wilkinson's familiar with, where a parent who was a peanut-free school, the parent said, "That's all my child will eat." He's now, so on the other end of the spectrum, they're saying that's all he would eat. So they, as an accommodation, gave him a isolated location to eat his lunch, and that's been their practice at that campus. So,
What a protocol for washing, like say somebody brought a peanut butter sandwich, sort of isolated, but then washed his hands. I don't know how you use on your breath to keep the inhalation, but what a good protocol be if they brought peanut butter, wash hands, do something with rinse in the mouth with something, would that knock it down? If we had to get
Sometimes
to it.
yes, sometimes not.
Is this something that gradually grow out of, or?
They was hoping, Vanderbilt was hoping that is, yeah, no French fries. Yeah. No French fries for a kid. He's never tasted, he's never had a true birthday cake. Our preacher's wife, has figured out some kind of way, some way to make a birthday cake that he can eat. And that's been a real blessing, but he's never said how to have a piece of pie, a cake, or nothing. Because of the eggs and the milk, I understand we can't take that out, but the peanut allergies, you know, you've got more children than just mine in the system that have it. So that would be something y'all would think about, during the rest of this year. And
That's something
maybe
that's
for the
a big
summer. Maybe, I mean, because for my child, I was thinking about this earlier today, but once they get to junior high school, kids don't bring their lunch very much. It's whatever the cafeteria's got. So my child will be out of that, you know, pretty quick, being in the 4th grade. But then you've got the kindergarten, who's in kindergarten. We've got a kindergarten that's just got kindergarten or something. And then you've got more kids that are going to be there too.
Well, maybe, Mr. Ellis, we could have, as superintendent, just kind of look into this and see what he thinks about policy. Maybe, like you say, target the schools or the classrooms that we know we've got the kids in, and, you know, kind of go from there. Because you know, like I say, I understand it is, I know it's scary. And
Sure. And it's one of those where you got to worry about making the school.
Make an effort, especially your class that your son's in.
Exactly.
Ask the teacher to stress to the parents, maybe carry something, a letter or note home.
Yeah, they just turned around and sent a letter out after we found out that had happened, and it hasn't happened anymore that I'm aware of. The child, I think, still eats with my son, so they kind of swap buddies out of meetings. So.
Well, I would also ask Jason to provide us, because now during the Halloween season, people might bring candy to school.
Yeah.
But I've asked them to provide us a listing of candies or types of snacks that we, like I said, we know Little Debbie's are out.
I mean, I've seen it on just
Reese's.
lots of stuff. I mean, you don't even
You
think
wanna know
about
what-
it. Everything's got
You want to know the ingredients on something?
something that.
Call my wife, she looked at everything, it's on every shelf in one part. So, I thank y'all very much for y'all's time this evening. Thank you, Mr. Fields.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks,
Sure,
sir.
thank you for coming.
You know, I think we need to, this one in kindergarten, we need to really search out and find out who they are and send out emails to the parents about the kids that are in that class.
I'm sure they.
Well, I don't want to assume that it's not happening, Norris. That's what I want to find out.
Right.
What I was going to make note is contact the school nurses, contact Heather Griffin, the coordinator, school health coordinator. Find out what has been done. Some of this work I know has been, because I've seen the evidence of it. It's not something, because, you know, as the parents talk about their child here, this is again going back to the right of privacy for our students. So you mentioned,
Yeah, right.
you know, you don't mention who has it.
Yeah.
You mention that you do have it on
Yeah,
campus,
right.
but you try to provide as much protection and privacy to the families. You know, He did go through Eastchester, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Didn't have any problems, or everybody?
Yeah, there was a couple of instances where peanuts were introduced, whether it was through candy or whether it was through some child bringing their lunch home.
thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on to the next thing here is the obligation report. Troy, do you need to update us on that? or-
Sure. It is a requirement by law. And let's go into the location. There it is. It's number 4 on your board packet. But this is required because of the lease agreement that we have with Lenovo for the laptops that we're using in campuses. There has to be acknowledgement by the board that we do have this partnership. Again, like it says there's no action to be taken. Stacy, is this the only copy of it?
That is the time we have a debt that's more than 1 year long.
So it's just, again, for your acknowledgement, no board action.
All right, the next thing we're gonna be looking at is about our video surveillance cameras and the bids. Troy, kind of give us an update on that, if you will, please.
And I've asked Brett to be a part of this too, because he's been more hands-on with the bidding process for this. But on, again, as the dates show on that .5, on August 28th, we had a bid opening. At that bid opening, and of course, you were all notified about the amounts of each one. And in the process, as it describes going further, E&A's bid was removed or rejected, for failing to even submit the bid properly. Then when we move to the next one, which is Townsend, we've since had a conversation with Townsend. We had a presentation by Townsend 2 weeks ago. Joey Lovelace over here represents Townsend, by the way, just for your knowledge. And we are at a point where we know that there are, as the third party, and I'm looking where that's found, where Brett had communicated to a third party person who had knowledge of this to look at the bids that you have, or the next bid. There are some specifications that are not exactly verbatim, word for word. I don't know how best to say it. But at this point, we have, like I said, spent some time with Townsend. We've talked to them and looked at their demo as it shares there. We have other bids, and in conversations with, like, for example, where it mentions Kevin Basham, he had raised some concerns also that the majority of those had some discrepancy of the specifications exactly. So really for Brett and I in this process, we want to have some board consideration about how to proceed. There are stipulations with each specification that are not exactly on point as they were specified. Again, E&A was a glaring problem. They didn't follow the procedure to submit their bid accurately. But the others have done that work. However, when you start to peel back on the details of the specifications, there are some that are limited as far as the exact, such as autofocus for Townsend new cameras.
They submitted a 6 megapixel camera. That's one of the main ones, but it's not 100% autofocus. The bid specs ask for a 5 megapixel autofocus camera. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Joey, the camera they have will be focused by the technician, and it's set and would never have to be focused again. So technically it's it's not autofocus, but it will be set, and then there's a firmware that they're working on that possibly will autofocus it later down the road. That's one of the areas. The other one is one of our specs asks for their software to support an unlimited number of cameras. The high vision that they quoted will handle up to about 1,024 cameras. We're only bidding out 112 cameras. The likelihood of us hitting 100,000 cameras slim to none, but it's still, by spec, it's not 100%, but it's approaching.
Yeah, we could add to their system. It's not proprietary.
It's not proprietary. The platform can add, and of course he's here, but Joey, can you add like an upgrade to that platform of another camera that may be higher tech than
You can
high
with
vision?
another camera. Now, as far as the existing software, which our brand is the High Vision, you won't be able to do everything that you could do with the High Vision camera. But as far as standards, just viewing, camera, recording, all those capabilities will still work fine with other manufacturers.
here could all service this equipment because of the non-proprietary status.
And I even asked the Hike Vision representative they brought in for the demo, the same as I said, let's say Townsend's out of business. They shut the doors in 6 months, what do we do? And anybody can work on it.
If it basically meets.
The next step up is $40,000.
Yeah.
One thing that I also was pointing out to Mr. Kilzer is, in some of the locations, the principals ask for a certain amount of cameras. Well, they usually don't, they just ask for what they think of, yet not what's all the way. And there's gonna be some needs for more cameras that probably will go up a little bit, but the cameras from Hike Vision are very competitively priced, whereas you go up into these higher systems, you're looking at possibly $1,000 a camera versus, what, $260, $270, Joey? So, you know.
On the demonstration, the pictures were good.
Pictures were good, everything, you know, most of they demonstrated it, I was satisfied that it's adequate to do what we needed to do, plus.
Why we wouldn't go with Townsend bid then? Do we need to make a motion that we go with, make a motion that we accept the bid from Townsend?
Second.
All right, we have a motion, a second, we accept Townsend bid for the systems. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, so we'll go with Townsend's bid for the camera system. Okay, the next thing is approval of school trips and director. I thought
We just did that.
Yeah, I thought we did that.
Or just for the next year.
Next school year.
And I have to confess, when I was looking at last year's packet, this was the rotation when we did it.
Yeah.
I just remembered today, the reason why it was spurred at this time was because last year, Mr. Carnes had asked me for permission to go to the national conference for FFA.
Yeah.
And that's why I included it. But yeah, it was this time last year.
Yeah, I knew that we had done it first of the year and then it.
Right, but I was just assuming again, you know, don't want to take each year for granted, that it may be a year to year, but the information about one request has been made, that's inaccurate. That was my mistake of leaving it in there.
Well, I make a motion, we let the superintendent make the decision on
I'll
this.
second. All right, motion second, we let the superintendent approve school trips. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. All right, now you can get to make 50%.
Thank you.
So if it messes up, we blame you.
Would have been anyway.
That's true. That's right, we was going to anyway. All right. There was a few updates on here. Anything, any of the board have any questions on, or Troy, if you need to tell us? I was seeing the Southwest thing. We really haven't anything about the lighting.
No, we have not.
Now, on that, you know, that letter that I read, it sounded to me like that we were wanting out of the contract.
No, they initiated it with us.
I mean, if we don't have to, I think staying in that contract.
If you, again, but the contract, and I need to go
I
back.
hadn't seen the contract.
We need to read it more, but the contract allowed either party to get out.
Right.
So if Southwest decides to get out of it, they have the same right that we do as far as the contract. What you do have is paperwork that reflects how much has been paid, and this is it was a little difficult for me at first to understand what that meant. But if you look at the spreadsheet, the place, I'm trying to find my copy. Can I use yours? I'm not seeing that. If you see the,
No, that was in
This-
the last board meeting.
it was put at the end of your statements.
Tonight.
Your financial
Put it out
report.
tonight.
Financial report, it's in your financial report period. But at the very bottom, in 1991, when that initial agreement occurred, the cost at that time was reflected in that dollar amount, which was, well, $19,345 is what it cost to light it back in 1991. There was initial upfront payment, and then after that, there was a balance monthly payment since 1991, and I want to say it started in May or April, but I may be wrong on what month. But what we have, and that's what he's got in bold there, what we've already paid to Southwest for the lease is $107,908 is what we've already paid since 1991. What he is suggesting is new poles, which the poles are, except for the one steel, the poles are in need of repair. And when asked about the soccer field, that would be, well, he gives us the price, the breakdown of it, which for the both projects would cost $198,950. He is agreeing to do another contract, just like you did back in '91. However, as he reflects, and it goes to the back side of that same page, then instead of $324.21, you would be paying approximately $1,000 a month to do that. So it would be, again, kind of like a lease agreement, just like in '91, that is a possibility. The total would start though with $198,950 instead of $19,345. They would still do a lease agreement, but the monthly payment, and again, this is just for the lease, nothing to do with the power that's being used. It would be another $1,000 a month instead of $324.
What does our power bill run on the baseball field? Anybody know, have a clue?
I hadn't checked on that.
I mean, I'd like to know that because, the reason we did the baseball field was because Southwest was ridiculous. We wanted to do the baseball field. And we did it.
Right, because you had mentioned to me that you did it for about $100,000.
It's around $100,000 when we did the baseball.
And that was
field.
back in '97, '98, something like that. Or was it
Late 90s.
But that more Henderson officially.
But that's what I'm saying, I'm wondering what it cost, and now it should be even more.
The power does not distinguish it, I don't think it, or does it?
They are separated.
They are separated.
I
thought
specifically
there would be.
separate. They are separated. Yeah.
But, I'd be interested in knowing what that is, and then that,
Well, Britt and I have a meeting with Gordon on Monday morning, tentatively at 9 o'clock or 8:30, something like that. So these are questions to be asked.
because I think, we need to look at all angles and not,
Well, his argument was, just like what this page brings out, is even though the lease agreement was not much up front for the board to pay, you paid $107,000, nearly $108,000 to do that. So, what his argument was, you've already paid for the cost of doing it yourself.
he's wanting out now that we need about 60 poles.
I understand.
It's basically,
I understand.
because, like I said, they have replaced one, that one in the middle on the visitor side.
Visitor side of the high school, yeah, the fans.
Yeah. But
He hasn't asked to get out yet, has he?
No, he hasn't, but I would infer from reading his letter that that would be
well,
his plan.
I guess I didn't read it. I thought it was like we wanted out of it.
No, sir. No, we have not asked to be out. All I've asked for was consideration for something with soccer.
Get that letter back out and read it again.
Maybe we'll go anywhere for y'all's meeting. Kind of give
I
us
was gonna say
some
because,
insight.
there's at least 5 poles or 4 that need to be replaced out there now. The other 2 on the visitor side, I know that, because their lights are shining up there pretty good.
If we paid $1,000 though, after we paid off the initial installation, we keep paying $1,000 a month until they want out or we want out, like the other agreement where we
Yeah.
paid $100,000, so. I don't know if it puts the warranty and the lifetime on the lights, it's $1,000 better.
What type of lights they gonna put back up, similar to what's there, or some more better lighting?
This would be better lighting. There is a requirement because of TILA blade, and those requirements have stepped up
Yeah.
since '91. because if you notice, he's only talking about 4 poles instead of 6.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that the efficiency of the lighting's gonna be better, which may, again, his spin may be that it takes a lesser monthly payment for your power, I'm just saying, maybe.
I'm trying to remember, who was it? I don't remember who we got to do the lighting at the baseball.
That's what I was wondering.
I can't remember. But and there's more poles on the baseball field because of the lighting around home plate area and the infield.
Just towns.
Are those 80 feet poles like what he's describing here?
Don't start me.
They don't look
I
like
think-
tall.
Just towns
Tall.
over there.
Now, the outfield ones are high. I don't know about that.
We will know more after our meeting next week. Report it.
Kind of last thing I would like to say, congratulations to Miss Whitehead for being Teacher of the Year. I think that is great. And I've talked to Troy. I know you guys have been to the school board meetings where they say we don't promote our schools enough. And I was telling him I've been looking forward to some kind of reception for her. And he said he would be working on that. And because I told him I think this is a really big deal. Chester County School, the size of our system, compared to Brentwood, Franklin, all these other places. I mean, we are blessed with great teachers, but she just proves that.
If I may add that more details, we do have a tentative date of November the 12th. There will be invitations that will go out. The 12th is the Thursday before our next board meeting. That was the best calendar date for Kathy to attend. It's going to be held at the high school cafeteria. And we are going to, Kathy, myself, and Miss Amy Woolley, the principal, are getting our heads together with who to invite. But I've been pulling out all the stops. The governor is going to be invited, the Commissioner of Education. I'll say this as a plug for Miss Kathy. Some of those at the State Department who were part of the group that decided this, who's going to be selected of the 9 that they had. And again, remember, this is 67,000 teachers in the state of Tennessee. So it's bigger than what we actually realize. But they also shared that she has as well or better chance as anybody that Tennessee has had for the last several years to win the National Teacher of the Year. So we are strategically preparing her for that. And pulling out all those stops of getting people who, at the state level, who are part of those decisions. And Kathy is going to be an advocate for teachers across the state. It's not just get your picture in the paper. She's going to be out speaking and promoting education. I don't know if you spent any time talking to her personally. She was here the last meeting, but she is a very, very pleasant, caring teacher. And I'm telling you, she's got the tools for the job. And those kids love her to death. They're doing a special little presentation for her next Thursday.
I think he's nominated her for that local teacher of the deal on Channel 7.
Well, I'm sure they're kicking themselves because they didn't pick her up.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, I appreciate Mary, because Mary's write-up in the paper was excellent.
Yeah,
That was a great page.
And being the 12th, and I mentioned to Troy the other day, I'd like to see our mayor's maybe declare that her day, the 12th,
Might
because,
even have the governor do it.
well, really, and
Never fly over shit.
I said, we one of the mayors has, been on the school board a little bit, so he ought to really appreciate it anyway. But I told him, I said, all the recognition we give her, she deserves every bit of it. Board, anybody else had anything?
I've got one thing I'd like to
Go
say.
ahead.
Miss Gloria Holiday didn't show up, but I was out at the sportsplex one night with my granddaughter. We were on the tennis courts, and they were playing over on the basketball court. And they were, it was good, but I thought we needed some lights on there too. And I don't think it would cost that much to do
the thoughts that Britt and I had was just adding to an existing
Right.
pole, using the wiring that's already there as a first stop, rather than trying to
Right.
figure the cost of a new pole.
There's some
one-
good LED, nice,
Yes.
pink LED lights that would probably light that whole place.
Yeah, it'd be good.
But she had, I don't know the reason, she hasn't talked to me in the last few days, weeks, but she did mention that she wanted to be here to present that, and she had said that in the summer in passing, so.
You want to take a look at that and see kind of what the cost would be? Say, I'm like you, if we've got some poles there, if we could just use it, put the lights on the back side.
Well, if you remember, during the basketball tournaments, when we first started hosting them again, I don't know if it was board or just decision with John, but there were new, floodlights that were put down in the lobby areas on the backside of the gym that lit up those areas, and it helped out with the traffic because of the congestion there and people walking across. So that's what I'm thinking, as far as having some way to securely mount that on the existing pole, pointing the lights back toward the courts.
Look into it, let's see what we do. I make a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion, we have a second to adjourn. Second. All in favor, say aye.